Hi there. My name is Camillo, and welcome to the first recording for this new YouTube channel. So, the reason that we're here is I am on a mission to do everything I can during this year. This year is my year of 40. I just turned 40 last week, and I've set some pretty high goals that I'm going to try to accomplish. And if you stick with me, you'll see exactly how I try and do them, and we'll sort of be able to monitor the progress that I make. So, high level goal, the biggest goal is that in 5 years, I want to be featured on How I Built This. If you don't know, How I Built This is, it's a pretty big podcast put out by NPR, and it focuses on entrepreneurs and sort of the journey that they took. And for years and years, I've listened to it and gotten a lot of inspiration from it. And so when I was trying to figure out what would be like a major accomplishment, that was one that came up. And like honestly, for me, it's like almost hard even just saying that that's something that I want to do, right? Because yeah, like who am I to build something that could actually be featured on there? It seems like a really hard. And I also really want to do a great job of parenting, right? I have a 12-year-old kid now, and I also have a 4-year-old with Down syndrome. And so there's a lot of things that I need to do to try and get better as a parent for those things. And I don't want to let time just sort of slip by. So this year in particular is really important to me, and those are the two things that I want to focus on. So like I said, the how I built this goal is really a 5-year goal. But let's just say then like maybe the first million for the business or the first million, people that buy the product. That's really a goal for years 1 and 2. And, in this first year, um, let's see if we can get to 100,000 in sales. That seems like a pretty good goal. So, what is this magical business? For a couple of years now, I've been working on a business called Beast, and it is a business in a box for kids. It's all about teaching kids entrepreneurship, right? Teaching them how to develop an entrepreneurial mindset and become, sort of world-class problem solvers. And this is something that I became really passionate about. A, because I grew up never knowing what I wanted to do. Even today, I'm not really sure what I want to do. We're just sort of here, and I have these goals. So let's let's work from there. But B, I saw how big of an impact it had on my own. So a few years ago, my daughter came home from school. She was actually in the second or third grade at the time, and she had the Scholastic book orders form. I don't know if you know it, but it's basically a form with a whole bunch of books on it, and she had a whole bunch of stuff circled. She's like, Dad, can I get these? And I was like, well, how much is it? So she sat there and she like took all the ones that she circled down and made a list and wrote them all down. And then, I made her do the math. She added it all up, and eventually she's like, that's $64. And I was like, why do you want so many books? Like we have a library and everything to go to. She was like, Dad, it's really important to me. This is something I really want. And I was like, no, darling, I'm not going to get it. And she was like, please, please. And she begged a little bit. And so eventually I made her an offer. I told her if she could earn half the money, I would give her the other half. She was like, Dad. It took her a while to figure out how much money that actually was. She was like, how in the world am I going to earn $32 in 10 days? Right? And I was actually in business school at the time. So I said, I don't know, let's talk about your capabilities and resources. So we talked about all of the things that she was able to do and all of the things that she had and how she could combine them to create value for someone else, right? So then we walked through like a few different sort of business ideas. She talked about cookies, we talked about lemonade, right? And we really dove into like why people are buying and doing certain things. Eventually she kind of realized that those weren't going to work for her at the time. But eventually she realized that she can make greeting cards, right? Like birthday cards. So we talked all about birthday cards. We talked about when she gets birthday cards, when she gives birthday cards to other people, what other types of events. Then, of course, she eventually realizes that her mom's birthday is coming up in just about 10 days, actually. And so we started talking about who are all the people that might want to buy mom a card for her birthday. So she made a list, basically a contact list. And I was like, all right, well, you got to cold call them. And I mean, for the most part, it was all people that we knew, but she was extremely nervous about doing it. But I helped her, and she like figured out how to say what she needed to say on the phone. And long story short, she made over $75 selling cards for just my wife's birthday. And since then, she's made, a few $1,000s working on this. Most recently, I was really impressed. Most recently, Christmas was not that long ago, and a bunch of her friends had gotten Oculuses for Christmas. And she hadn't even wanted one. But then once she saw that her friends had them and she tried actually playing it, she was like, Dad, these are amazing. Can you get me an Oculus? I said, no, darling, I'm not going to get you an Oculus, but if you want one, you can buy it with your own money. She's like, all right, well, how much is it? And I was like, it's $300. And so I actually told her, I said, look, if you can earn $200, I'll give you $100 as long as you let me play with it too. She was like, all right, deal. And I kid you not, so she figured out that she wanted one right after Christmas. By Valentine's Day, she had earned her $200 to get the Oculus. And it was actually because of Valentine's Day that she was able to do it. She just sold a ton of Valentine's cards. So it like for me, why BISO is so important isn't just the money piece, right? Like that is really cool, but it is amazing as a parent just seeing my kid like take charge and figure out how to do something that she wanted to do, right? Like she had her own path and she followed it, and like she took care of herself. And I think that, as parents, we're just always trying to figure out like, does my kid have what it takes to take care of themselves? Are they nice to other people? Are they helping? Um, do they enjoy what they're doing? And so just seeing her sort of spark and be so excited and proud of the fact that she was able to do it was really cool. And, you know, hearing, and she's very modest about it too, right? Like she's really proud of herself, but she didn't want to tell people how she got the Oculus, right? She didn't want to like brag or anything like that. She kept it to herself. But anyhow, we'll call that a wrap for this video. I'm gonna start posting on the regular. I'm gonna start putting content out every single day, even if it's just a 5-10 minute check-in like this. It's gonna be a focus on on the goals that I'm setting, the short-term goals, the long-term goals, and kind of how I'm trying to tackle it all. So excited to have you here with me on this journey. All right, thanks.